Hello. Okay, so I'm going to try to begin this project by, you know how it is, right? I'm gonna try to first start by forking this git. Case, oops, already exists. That's a problem. Allow me to do this. So I have created this. Next thing I need to do is to the next thing I need to do is to turn my repository into one moment. I need to clone this repo. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, so let's clone. I like to clone it wherever, man. Doesn't matter. I'll just clone it into my downloads folder. Okay. All right. Okay, so we are done here. I'm going to open this, and of course it's whatever, man. I trust the authors. That's fine. And we have. So I'm just going to be following the instructions. I'm sure you have that open in yours. We have. So this is our big boy, our target, right? I'm going to do this to enable my. So we're as blank as everybody expects us to be. Everything is good. What I'm interested in most is actually I want to check the interesting. I want to check the workflows here. All right, so I want to check this one. I want to okay, so so they say make a copy. Yeah, that's fine. Oops, strange. Yeah, so that's a copy. I don't care about the copy. I'll look at that later. I can do git status so that I know if I'm connected to my so I'm connected to my repo. What do I want to do next? Next thing, I want to connect my CircleCI account, right? Yeah, so I'm going to do that and I'm going to come back. All right, so we want to connect our project to this one. I want to connect what branch am I? Let's find out. Master. So okay, set up. And yeah, so this is fine. This is cool. So it's okay if it fails. I just need to start commenting stuff out. So I'm good here. I've done my connection. I want to follow the guide as usual, like I always say. It says to go to the build phase. Okay. So let's go to the build phase and try to build. That's number one. Let me go to number. What I want to do is I want to comment out everything else just for safety. So I'm going to comment this out. Interestingly, this cleanup should not even be this thing of its own. So it should be a subsection of the jobs. See, look at what I just did there, right? I made the let me minimize all of this. It's probably a bug, who knows? But if you know how to fix it, you can fix it. Aha, so this is our cleanup file. It was formerly this way. right? So I did it, I moved it to the right. So that is a part of the jobs. No problem. So now we have build front end, which is what we are asked to look at. Right? You say add code to compile the front end. So what do I want to do here? I'll just look for this part and just replace this with uh, right, and I save the expectation. Remember that I'm only building the front end and the back end. So let's fix, we have done this for front end. There's also a back end. Let's go do the same thing. Build back end. So this is done. And I go to build back end, and I was asked to do just the same thing. So it should be cd backend npm install npm run build save. So we have done a few things just to get ourselves updated. We have done, oops, is this, oh sorry, we have built the front end, which is what I just added with the blue highlight, and we have built, so this is back end. We have built the front end, which is this box, and we have built the back end, which is this one. What else? Let's see. Add the jobs to the workflow if not there. That's what I already have here. And I save and I git add git, I have to do git status, which time I do stuff. So git commit build. What's next? Once I'm done with that, say should push. So I want to push. Let's see what happens when we push. Hopefully nobody spoils. I'll wait for this to run. And oh yeah, okay, so we have failed. Let's see why. Okay, so jobs cleanup. I need to check out that cleanup guy. Looks crazy. Let's see. Let's look at the error again. What I'll do is this time I will, let's see, required key steps not found in config file. What I'm going to do is I'll just comment it out. When I'm ready, I'll put it in. So commented, saved. Okay, so this time I'm going to, let's look at the status again. Okay, git add, git commit. I'm going to amend, lazy man's way, git push. All right, let's try again. We are pushing again. Hopefully we don't fail this time. All right, so oops, I still have a problem, right? Let's see. Oh, CloudFront update. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to where are you, jobs? I'm going to comment out everything except, I think that's what I did too. So I'm going to come all the way down and comment all these boys. That way, I'm sure that I only have build backend and build front end. So git add. All right, let's try again. Okay, this time we did not fail, and we are now building our. So we expect that backend should fail. I'll pause. All right, looks like they both failed. Let's see why. It says run command not found. Oops, I think I've done one rubbish somewhere. Let's check build front end. Oh, sorry. So this should be npm run build. Let me verify that the other one doesn't have the same nonsense. Npm run build. Okay, that works. So git add, git commit, and git push. So I'm going to try again, and let's see what happens. So let's go back here and check. I'm moving as fast as possible because time is not on my side. Okay, so I'm going to pause this again. Okay, so build front end worked, which is what we expected, but build back end failed, which is what we also expected, right? So you screenshot of this one and move on, right? And the goal is to fix the backend source main.ts. So let's do that. I go to backend source main.ts, right? I have no idea what the problem is, so I can't remember the stuff I have to. Okay, so it says here that here's an intentional, so in the line 31. Because I'm a very lazy person, just delete the X and save. And oops, save quickly, please. Okay, so git add, git commit. So I'm going to just save this as git fix backend build git push, and we will try again. Hope you saved, because if you did, you should not be showing this. Let me check. Okay, it's up to date. Well, I guess it's just the we're about to find out. All right, so oops, sorry. This is this guy. I expect that if I rebuild, it should. Oh yeah, so here we go. As always, I'm going to wait for this to run. Okay, so we have a successful build backend. The next thing we want to do is add the tests, right? That's number 2. So let's go do that. Plan here is to go to, okay, I can close this, don't need it anymore. I can minimize this. Has done its job. I want to go to the front end boys, which is this one, and I'll comment it. And I want to start doing the work here, right? Yeah, the big boys start working. So which image do you want to use? Choose any image you want, but I think we'll just use what we've already used in the past, which is the node. So I'll do image node 13.8.0. I think that's what we used before. I want to check out our code. So what do you want to do next? Oops, let me undo that. Okay, so it says to restore from cache. So I want to check out, and you want to restore from cache. Okay, so we want to restore cache, right? And we are returning the keys front end build, right? What else are we asked to do? Is that correct? I think so, yes. So the next you want to do as well is to test the front end, right? So we also want to run name, any name you want to give it, test front end, command cd front end, npm install, npm I can also work, npm run test. So I think this should, let me verify that that's what they asked for. Yep. So run front end test. Okay, that's what, just follow what you said. Front end test, and that should do the front end tests. I think we should just do the same for back end. So I'll do exactly the same for back end. I'll uncomment that. What I'll do is I'll just copy this guy and I'll just replace it with this. But this time I want to restore back end build, right? So I want to do this to back end. So I now have test front end. I have test back end. Oops, I've left out the image. Sorry. Copy, paste. So image, checkout, restore cache, and oops, run. I'm sure that doesn't matter. Okay, so I want to do git add tests front and oops, I've left out something. I didn't add the workflow. Oh yeah. So I'm going to scroll down to enable it in my list of workflows. Remember? So I'm going to enable this. I'm going to add again. Okay. Tests front end and back. All right. Let's see what happens here next. I want to check this and let's see what fails next. So we expect that front end should pass, hopefully, and back end should fail. Right, so I'm going to pause as usual. All right, so they failed, and now it's our job to find out why. Right, so it's saying here that something is wrong. Let's see what they want us to do. Okay, so we failed on both sides, and they're telling us that we should go to some parts of our code to fix it. Let's do that. So I go to front end first. I go to components, source, app, components, loading message spec, and it's saying here to remove the question mark, which is this one, I think. Right? Yeah, it's not a question mark. So this should pass our front end, but let's go to the one for back end straight away. It says to go to back end, domain, sorry, source, modules, domain, employees, commands, handlers, employee activator handler. Looks like it's this guy, and it says to change this to 100 to make it pass. So we change this to 100 and save. Of course, I want to do git add full stop git commit make front end, and let me call it fix front end and back end. Okay, that is done. Let's see what happens next. So I'm back here. We're trying to fix both of them. See, I'm systematically doing this stuff, right? Yeah. Okay, so as always, pause. Okay, so we're back and our tests have passed. Next, we go to the analyze phase. So let's do that. I go to analyze. Oh, I don't need this anymore. I can minimize this. I can minimize this. And I want to go to the scan front end and back end. So that's my next big boy. I want to add an image as always, right? And then I want to fix the image. So I want to fix the vulnerabilities. So I want to add same node. Nothing is changing. So oops, sorry. Yep. Okay. So as always, I want to check out. I want to restore cache. I want to, so this is front end, right? Yes, so front end build. All right, then I also want to run okay, and I want to add the command that says cd front end npm install npm audit fix. What's that thing again? Let's check it. Audit level critical. So audit level is equal to, let me verify that. Is it npm audit? Oh, sorry, not fix. Okay, so this particular command just does an audit. It does not fix it yet. So let's go to the back end and do just the same thing. Right? So as always, I'll just do copy and paste, which is what I like to do. Okay, so let's copy and paste steps. In fact, I'll just take it all the way here. So I'll take this, same node, checkout, restore, backend build, analyze, backend, npm install, npm audit fix, npm audit rather. So I want to check both of them. I believe that's the question, that's the stuff. Sorry, I'm having to read this again. Okay, so once you're done, you want to go to the this one, and I want to enable both of them. So we have scan back end check, scan front end check. I think, yeah. So I want to git add, git commit. This is analyze F E and B. Okay, so let's see what happens next. I'm going to come to this one and wait. Okay. All right. So as is expected, the scan front end fails. Of course, you can do what you need to do to probably send in your screenshots and all of that. Right. That's dependent on you. You probably need to read this to understand what will happen, what's happening there. So what we want to do next says to fix it, right? Using npm audit fix. So let's do that. So I'm doing the same thing here, but I want to just add something before it. I think that's a mistake many people make. Audit fix, audit level, critical. So what this will fix the problem before doing the scan. Right. So I want to do it on both sides. Right. And I think they were asking us to also change some things manually. There is a place why they say we should do that. Let me just quickly show you that. This is that's on the scan back end. Guys, I think one of them is saying that you should upgrade to class. Can't find it. Takes you a while to get it. They upgrade manually to standard version. Standard version 7.0. So I'm going to go do that as well as recommended. I've done this. Right. I also need to go to back end. Where is it? Yeah, here. So I want to search for standard version. So I want to change this to 7.0.0. Right. What I like to do is okay. So we know what it was before, right? You can save that in your head somewhere. Then class validator, we want to take this to 0.12.2. So I've saved these two. Of course, what I expect is that two files should have changed, which is, oh yeah, so this one, did I save? I didn't save the config. Ooh, that was close. If I do this again, two files, yeah, two files should have changed. So add both of them. Fix vulnerabilities. Yeah, and npm modules. Let's call it that. Okay, that's done. I wait for the next iteration. Okay, oops, something wrong, something wrong, something wrong. Let's see, maybe something is wrong. Snapad problem. Oh, okay, we are here. Okay, so we have all three trying to run, and I'll pause as usual. Okay, so still failed, right? Yep. Well, they are suggested that if it still fails again, you can run it a second time. So before we start trying other ingenious stuff, let us run it a second time, right? Oh, I left out the false. Oops. Oops. Okay, that's on me. That's on me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just try to fix this twice, just for keepsake. Okay, so I'm going to just try to run this twice. I'm going to git add. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to push. So let's see what happens this time. Okay. All right. So all our jobs have now succeeded, right? Next, you want to do is to add alerts. All right. You have to go look through. Okay, no. Yeah, we have to go look through how to authenticate your Slack and all of those things, right? So I am going to, I think that's the next thing. I'll just do that real quick. That means you have to set up a channel and all of that stuff. And I think I have, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Oops, sorry. I should be here. Yeah, so this is probably our channel. I have my own channel sitting somewhere pretty. So I think this is where we start doing a lot of stuff. But you just go through the guide, integrate your channel, and add that to your CircleCI. So when I go get my stuff, I'll add it. I'll continue. Okay, so I have this setup, right, with the right email to send it to setup, and I also have my environment variable for Slack, right? So what we want to do is we want to deliberately fill a build. Which one should I set up? I just need to fill something, and I expect to get both notifications. All right, so I'm just here trying to fill a build. Me just being I don't know, is there a guide there that says to deliberately fill a build? No. But okay, you know what we'll do? Let's just take a break. Let's pause it. When we fill the next build, I'm sure something will fail. That should certainly happen. So I'm going to undo this for now and move on to the next step. You know what? Just for the sake of this thing, I'm going to deliberately fill a build. Does this work? Well, I'm about to find out. Push, no, git add, git commit, test field, build, git push. Let's see. So I'm coming here and I expect this to start very soon. Okay, as always, I'll pause. Okay, so scan backend, we have forced it to fail, right? Now let's see if it works. Oh, did not work. Okay, so I probably have to go and fix the channel name. I think I may have missed out on that, or the email. Oh, I think I remember what I missed out. I need to add the ob. I forgot. I apologize. So I'm going to go back. I did not add the ob. Oops. Okay, so let me take this out of the way first. So there we should have an ob. I can add it anywhere above, so I like to add it first. Obs Slack CircleCI Slack at 4.1. Like I said, if you check the documentation, you would understand why this is what is right there. The next thing I want to do is add a step that only executes when it fails. Right? It's called Slack notify. Slack notify. Oh, that's why Slack didn't work, but I expect I expect email to work. Let's check that out. Of course, I would have been getting emails already, right? And I'll show you an example of the email, and I will. Ooh, I have a message, guys. I'm going to need to take a break. Yeah, so this right here is an example of, that's the one where the scan failed, right? That's the email that I want to do a screenshot. So I'm going to run this again. I'm going to I hope I've not pushed myself too fast and missed out on something. Let's hope so. So I'm going to wait for this to run, as always, right? Which should be here, I think. Yeah. So okay, so it's running. Pause, wait. When it fails, we check Slack. So scan backend has failed, and I have the job failure right there, right? So that's good for me. That's good for me. We can move on to the next thing. Thank you very much. I can take out this exit. Of course, know what that means. That means you can add this block to any of your jobs when it, so that when it fails, you get a notification on Slack. Okay, that's the implication. Next, we want to deploy infrastructure. That's where big things happen. Okay, download create a key pair. I have a key pair. Create an IAM user. I have an IAM user. Add a Postgres database. I'm going to pause this. Go and create a database. Some long and troublesome stuff. But remember, like I said, use Postgres as endpoint, as database, and choose your password. Right. I'm going to pause this for now and do all of that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to also do yeah, I'll just do database. That's it, I think, and the user. Okay, so pause. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you what I do. Right, standard create Postgres. I can leave this as is. I don't really care what it is. 13 is fine. This is the one that's key for me. Free tier. I want to set this as Postgres. I want to set my master username. Well, I do that myself. That's my problem. I want to please use something that is what's the word, that meets this. Yeah, so let's see, does that pass? Yes, it does. There's something I need to expand. I'm trying to remember. Okay, this is also fine. You can also decide to include previous generation. It doesn't change much. They're already in free tier, which is good. This is also good. I'm not sure there's a limit what we can do, but maximum is 20 because we are in free tier. I don't care about this. I like to uncheck it. I can leave this in the default VPC. I can leave this, make sure this is public access. I can as well use the default VPC, right? I'm not sure it will matter. You just decide on what you want to use. I can't remember what I used, funny enough. I want to make sure that this security group has 5432 open. So okay, this doesn't have, so I'll go and, okay, I'll just use the default one and I'll go and edit that later. So this is fine. I don't care about preference. You can decide to choose, but it is important for me. 5432. I want password authentication. Okay, so this is what I want to now create. So this is the database name, but this one is the instance ID, just so you know the difference. This one rather, right? So they are different, then I just give them the same name because I'm lazy, like that. So I'm disabling every other troublesome thing so that it's easy for me to go ahead and create. I realize that the more things you enable, the more trouble you give yourself. So I'm done with that. I can now create database. Let's hope it does not fail, right? Okay, so you see, I've created my database. Once this is done, of course, this takes a while. While we are at it, I can just go and start filling out the type ORM information. Yeah, so I want to come here and I want to start adding them. So for type ORM connection, I want this. By default is Postgres, right? Not by default, sorry, because we created a Postgres DB. Migrations dir, this one you can't change it. It's gotta be what's gotta be because that's the application design. So type ORM entities, same thing. Migrations as well. So I'm doing this stuff from scratch. Okay, I'm going to skip host for now. On my ports is 5432. My username, I think I use Postgres, is that correct? I think I use Postgres. And then my password, I will not tell you. Okay, I've entered my password. Then I want to add Postgres as my database name in RDS. Okay, the next other things I also want to add would be the AWS access key, right? Of course, as usual, I'm going to pause that so that you don't see it. But at least it's good for you. For me personally, I use US West 2, so you can use what you want, right? Don't forget that I use US West 2. You will have to use what you created. Okay, so I'm going to pause this and fill out. Okay, so we have all this set up. The only thing that is left is the database. Oh, I have my endpoint. Great. See, I love efficiency. So let's go get ourselves our endpoint set up, and that would be type ORM. Was it host, which is this very long guy. So I'm adding that. So the expectation is that if I do all this well, oh, there's one more thing we have to do, right? Which is our security group. Where are you? Security group. Where are you? Oh, security group here. So I want to open port 5432 on that one. Okay, so if you don't do this, migrations will fail, just so you know. Alright, so I want to add inbound rules. And if you don't do it, okay, I'm in luck, I've done it already. So this is what's critical. I created this manually, right? Because I've done this before. So you want to edit inbound rules and make sure that this is set up, right? With 0000. Funny enough, I don't care about this. I can decide to delete it, because no, let's still leave it. But this was key, right? This just allows, these are other things right there already. So I think that is that for this one. If you want to test if your database works, do I have dbeaver? I think I have dbeaver. I think I have dbeaver. Yeah, so I have dbeaver. Dbeaver is it's an open source community edition of your way you can connect to your PostgreSDB. So I want to test this 5432. This is my endpoint. I've typed my password. I just want to do a test connection. This is everything I just need to do. If it succeeds, I am good to go. If it fails, I'm in trouble. All right, so this means that I have succeeded. I don't care about whatever happens next. The rest, I can go on. All right, next thing I want to do is to connect my, yeah, this one. This is my username, right? I don't care, but as long as it has admin access to my database, to my uh, console, that's what matters. So it's asking us um, to let me clear. Go to CircleCI. So I want to cd CircleCI files. That's number 3. Oops, cd. Oops, sorry. ls. Yep. So I want to run this. It's very long, so I'm gonna just copy and paste. Yeah, thank you. So I'll just do kelechi 1 2 3 4. Right. This I want to also verify. I like to always check that the file I am working with exists. I know it exists. I want to see the content. Oh, not you, this guy. So yeah, this is it, right? Yeah. Okay, I can close this boy, and I'm going to try to create a CloudFront distribution. So what this should do, it should create an initial stack and start. Yeah, so here we go. I'm going to check this one. I'm going to look for CloudFormation. Okay, our session is in a few minutes. CloudFormation. And I expect that I should start creating an initial stack, right? Yeah. So once that is done, the next thing I want to start doing is to start creating the infrastructure. So while this is running, and so that this should keep running well, if it fails, we'll come back and check. I want to go to the deploy infrastructure part and start editing it. Okay, let the real business begin. So as always, I'm going to make this visible because it's where the real business starts. I want to add AWS CLI. You can use anything else, but just make sure it's something that supports Amazon CLI. I want to, of course, I want to check out. Let me delete this. I want to check out. I want to. Okay, let's leave this for now. Then I want to add this boy, and it says to get the workflow ID from one corner of the world, right? So I want to change this to your backend stack name with workflow ID. So I'm using remember what the workflow ID is? Sure, you probably have backend CircleCI workflow ID. I'm also overriding this, right? Let's go check the guide again. Yes, so I'm replacing the stack with that. Parameter overrides is right there. Stack name, double pull back end. So we know that this will create all of this. We want to do the same for the front end. So I'll just take this one and I'm going to replace this. This should be front end. And this should be just the same thing. Oops, I left something else. 0 07. You know what that does, right? That just picks the first 7 characters of the workflow ID. Okay, so copying this and pasting it here. Have I missed out anything? CircleCI workflow ID. I want to add the. I missed anything? Oh yeah, it says to install tar and gzip. Sorry, I skipped that. So let's go do that. So I want to yum install tar and gzip right after this. You'll find out why in a moment. Run yum install tar. Let me just why tar gzip. Oh, we want to add the. Oh yeah, when we are done, we want to please get this out of the way. Oh, and I left out. I need to bring this back in. I need to add the tag back. And okay, so this is the command to install backend. This is the command to install front end. Now we want to add the backend IP to the inventory. So I want to take this out. So the plan here is to take. I like to do this. EC2. Because that's all you're going to have to pass to that place. So let's be sure that it works here. Yep, so it works. I've not created any instance yet, so. And I want to put this in the. Look at this now. I want to put it in this particular path, right? So the command I'll be typing, I'll just paste that here so you can see it. This is describe instances. Use a query that picks out the reservations and everything inside it, gets the public IP address based on a specific filter. In my case, it's either people backend, which actually matches what I did here. Please don't forget. All right, because that's the CloudFormation stack name. And I'm pushing this into the inventory.txt. I believe that should already exist, which is this boy, right, with the web. So and that's what we do there. Once we are done, we want to persist to workspace, which we want to just persist this file to workspace so that it's available, right? I think that's what it wants us to do. Okay, so it says to write destroy environment on fail. So I want to go and do that at the top of the code. Okay, so it wants us to add the destroy environment. Typically that would be right, workflow ID CircleCI. You cannot hear my baby cry. 07. Of course, for some you don't have to actually add this. Some will just add workflow ID. Oops, sorry. But I decided to add that myself. But we have to first go and add that command, right? So let's go do that. What does that do? The plan here is that it destroys the backend, and this is giving a workflow ID. So we want to add a parameter that is called workflow ID, and the type is what? String. Of course, if you do want to add anything, you can add the default and call it that something like this. Something like this, yeah. But then I'm not doing that. I don't need to add that because I already have it. I have it replicated all the way around. What do I need to add? I need to add the steps that destroy the environment. This is very critical, only when things fail. Then I want to destroy. What do I want to destroy? I want to do AWS CloudFormation delete. You know this already, right? Delete stack name. Either people backend. This is destroying backend. Since I'm adding the parameters, I want to write parameters workflow, which is the parameters workflow ID. Right. Once we are done, I also want to remove the front end, because the front end created the bucket. You knew that already, so I'm not sure I need to go through all this trouble. So I'm going to just do it. I'll just paste it and show you what it does. So delete the stack, empty the bucket, the front end bucket, and delete the front end stack. So this is our destroy environment command. Was that migration? Okay, not yet. We don't need it yet. So let me minimize this scan, minimize this one. We are currently here. Then now I have this. Save. Oh, let's not forget, we have to keep adding it to the workflow. Workflow, are we ready? Let me add this for now. Let me verify that that's all we need. Yes. So deploy infrastructure has just. Interesting, you don't need this, right? Yeah, I'm just adding that so that it's dependent on the other ones. Let's see. Yeah. Then what's the next thing? We want to run this. How many things have I changed? Just one thing. So add git. Let me verify again that I have that thing correct. I have a hunch. Let me have missed out on something. Okay, looks working. Looks fine. Project CircleCI Ansible inventory.txt. CircleCI Ansible inventory. Yeah, cool. So add commit deploy infra. Oops, git add. I missed out on that. Deploy infra push strange. Oh, I see. ls cd ls is the root. Yes. So I'm going to do it again. Git add, git commit, git push. Oh, what did I do? Uh-oh, am I offline? Oops. Am I offline? Okay, so wait for this to run. Okay, I am offline. Actually, I'm offline. Oops, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. Let's see first. Okay, I'm online now. I think this should work now. So okay, now this is done. I want to check my pipeline. Oops, you know what happens here, right? Yeah, I'm sure you know. Okay, so this is where we were. I want to just refresh my page. Close this, refresh this. So if I did well with my AWS keys, this should work. Right, let's find out. Oops, oh, pending. I thought it failed. I didn't even remember to attend that meeting this morning. Well, I will try again on Saturday.
No, I mean the one that used to teach.
Not that I teach now. The guy, that's what I'm saying. I didn't attend that class today. I attend on Saturday.
He did not.
He did not even message me. I was surprised. I forgot. Okay, so oh, it's taking a while. Maybe it's just my refresh that's not working. Of course, there's a workflow. Strange, right? Oh, okay. It's taking a while, I guess. So my management console. So I use US West 2. I don't know why I made that decision, but I guess that is what it is. I think I switched to a slow network. Okay, so I'm gonna pause this, right? So that we can see. Yeah, I'm gonna pause this. Okay, looks like this boy failed. Oops, why? Okay, I think I have a problem with my access key. Okay, I'll fix that and come back and rerun. 1 second. That means nothing was created. Yeah. So I'll pause. Okay, so well, the good thing I have not created anything. So I'm going to try to just rerun only the one that failed. This one. It's fine. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just rerun the one that failed, which should be deploy infrastructure. Yeah. So I'll pause. Let's see what happens. In fact, what I expect is that if my AWS, yeah, see, if this is working, that means my access key is working. Thank you. So I wait and we continue. Yes. Okay. Oh, so looks like this boy failed. All right. So why? Why did you fail? What? Oh, what's this? Jeez. I actually. Oh crap. I'm gonna show you the problem. I use CircleCI workflow ID. That should be Circle workflow ID, which should be this one. A devil is a liar. Okay, no problem. I'm going to do something. I'm going to come here. I'm going to just do Control F. I'm going to do everything that has CircleCI. All 6 of you. I'm going to change it to Circle workflow ID. See, so many errors, so much rubbish. And I think that should fix it. Status, okay, status, git add. This time I have to rebuild everything from scratch. Git commit. Okay, let's go check our last commit. It's me just cheating and amend it. Okay, let's hope this time I have some more intelligence. It's gonna be alright. Okay, not you, yeah, you. So pause. Okay, so while I was doing this, I checked and I had a horrible AMI ID. I went to use the one for class. Oh, so I'm going to change mine to US West 2, right? And fix that. Okay, I'm going to do one more thing while I'm at it. I know that's going to revert, so no problems. While I'm at it, I'm going to try to skip all of this, right? And I'm going to remove the requires. In fact, okay, I can leave out the build. Oops. Oh yeah. So okay, so I was saying that I was going to try to, I know this has failed, so no snapad problem, that's fine. I was saying that I'm going to try to, yeah, so I need to go and fix my AMI right here. That should be backend AMI, which is this one, right? So let's go do that. You know how to get your AMI, so shouldn't be a problem, right? Yeah. So I'm going to use my own AMI. Just change this and git status. This time it should just be backend. Okay, yeah, okay. As always, git add. I don't recommend that you do this amend because it may not help your cause. Let's keep going. All right, so I've edited my back end. I have made this boy, oops, I'm going to have a problem, right? I would have just done this. Maybe I don't have a problem. Let's find out. This is what it should be, but no problem. Let's see what has actually happened. Because of what I just did, right, is going to try to do everything at the same time. Maybe I should just leave it. Let's just leave it. Let's leave it. How do we make this guy build faster? So I'll leave it for now. If I run into any problems, I will fix that. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is configure infrastructure. And that is, I'm waiting for this to build. If it fails, don't worry, we'll always come back and check, right? Of course, that will be happening here. Oh, see, it completes this time. That's good. If backend has finished, front end should start shortly. So I want to, it should have been done. Anyway, I'm going straight to configure infrastructure while I wait for that to run. It says to go to the playbook. I'm going to start playing with the playbook. So I want to go to configures. Is that configure server? Yes. Okay. So let's start from here. Check out first. So let's get this out of the way. This one. And as always, we want an image that supports Ansible. We learned that Python does a good job. So some people will say use Python 3.7 Alpine 3.1. Let's check for that. Docker Python 3.7 Alpine. I used 10, so let's see if this will work better. Oh, you're not seeing what I'm doing. This is where I am. I am looking for 3.7. Alpine 3.16. So this is what I want. I can just pick this one. I hope that works. Oops, what I just do? This should be okay. So what I'll do is I'll click on this. Okay, so I'm going to, oops, sorry, that's Python. So that would be, let me just paste, and this would be Python 3.7 Alpine 3.16. So next I want to check out code. I want to add SSH keys. Don't worry, you can steal my fingerprints. I'm going to show you. Yep. Next I want to attach my workspace. So let's do that. So I'm done with this comment. Get attach the workspace, and I mean configure infrastructure, right? Yes. Yes. So I've attached the workspace, and I want to install dependencies. Which dependencies do I need? Because I'm attaching workspace, I want to install dependencies first. So I'm going to have to do this. You know why, Ba? Because for you to get this working, for you to have workspace, I need to have this tar and gzip, just in case. But then I want to add Ansible, so I add Ansible to my mix. I save, I I can get this out of the way. Something is amiss, is it? Okay, name, command. Okay, looks good. If I missed out on anything, fingerprints are check. Oh, next we want to configure server. Oh, and it asks us to add AWS CLI. Let's do that. I'll show you why you need to add that. Because if you are destroying the environment at any point, which is this one, you need to run AWS. And for you to run AWS, you need to have AWS CLI. That's the short answer. Okay, so we have done that. We want to configure server. We go to our, let me save this for now. We go to our playbook and want to start adding stuff to it. So we have our playbook set up with, boy, my neck hurts. Let's see, Ansible. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to add this code. Interestingly, right, we just want to add wait for connection. That one does it. Install Python. I just want to add apt since it's an Ubuntu. That's why apt is working. Name Python 3. States latest. Yeah. Updates cache. Yes. Let's get environment variables. I can take this out. I don't need it anymore. So I just want to add all the environment variables, which is what we have they've given us already now, right? Yeah, remember. So I just want to add it here. Connection entities and all of that. So then we just now add which was the next row, the configure server row, which is this folder. So we want to do that next. Oops. That should be configure server. Okay, so this is done. Let me start on anything. I hope not. Well, when it fails, we'll find out. Host web. You know why host is web? Of course, you know why. Because it's web. Right. So just to quickly explain, when you run that inventory, when you run this line, where is the line? This particular block. This line takes the backend IP and puts it inside this place as a new line. Right? Remember, just make sure that you have this new line existent. If you don't, you're going to put it by the side. Add it there. Then the next thing that happens is that you can now run this particular part of your playbook and then run the configure server. So we want to go and create a configure server next. So we go to tasks, we create a main.yaml, and then we can start playing with let's see, roles, configure server tasks. Because I'm too lazy for anything, I'll just copy and paste what I already have. Hopefully it works. What does this do? This updates our package. This become sudo. Okay, so this updates. This is like doing this is equivalent to doing sudo apt upgrade. Sorry. Yep. Okay, then this is equivalent to that's sudo apt. I think so. Yeah. Then this is equivalent to doing sudo apt auto remove. Then this is equivalent to doing sudo apt install node.js npm, right? Yeah. Then it's equivalent to doing sudo npm install pm2. That's all this does. Everything just adds the latest. This I forgot to add the g. That's what this. Right? Okay, so now that this is in, that's what we just did. Provide the okay, so the next thing we want to do, we want to add that line to our Ansible playbook. So I can close this. I can close this. I want to come and add. Some people say add SSH. Let's just do that. Maybe let's leave it. When it fails, we'll find out. So I want to add configure server. Okay. So once this is done, you cd to Ansible folder, then which is where we are here, this folder. Then once on Ansible playbook inventory configure server.yaml. That's what this does. Then we can of course add our okay, nobody tells you to do this, but I like to do it. Necessary or not, let's just leave it. Okay, so I want to add my destroy environment. I will, okay, let's just add it. Of course, you know that if you run into any trouble, you want to disable destroy environment and try to fix the problem, right? Of course, if you run into any problems, you can add this line. That's my key pair, whatever. But I'm going to try to avoid doing it yet. If I run into any trouble, we're about to find out. Git status, git add. Let's check whether we've done everything it wants us to do. Yes. So you want to run okay, I think we should I continue? Yes, I want to continue. Okay, so remember that we have configured our server with this information. The next thing we want to do is run migration. So same drill. I want to, let's not go too far. Do this one. Right. Normally I should have run, but I'm being allow me use the word. I am being complacent since deploy has worked. Oh yeah, while I'm at it, right, I want to, because I should have, let me close this. This is fine. I should have a running infrastructure if I'm correct, yes. So what I want to do is I want to just kill it so that I can save on resources. I also want to go and empty my buckets. Remember it, right? And I also want to delete the infra. But let's empty the bucket first. Whew. All right. I have a headache. I need to rest. Okay, this one is taking too long to load. I'm going to switch my network. Let's hope this is faster. Of course, we know deploying faster shall work. So everything I'm trying to do is just to try to. I can actually run it side by side anyway, but I don't want to because there's a point that I believe is going to fail. So okay, there's nothing to add, so I'm going to delete this. And I expect that they should both be deleting. Good. So have I made any changes yet? Yeah, I was trying to just be complacent and and add run migrations while I'm at it because I'm running out of time. So this is, so if you use yeah, I know that would be strange. Somebody asked, why am I using this one for run migrations for? Yeah, but that's my personal preference. You can decide to use Node.js. That would also work. That's checkout. Then I want to, since I want to add AWM node, so I want to add in dependencies. So right? I want to add apk add updates no cache gzip node.js npm aws cli and curl. We're adding the curl because you need the curl somewhere in the future. Okay, before we run migrations, I want to make sure I restore my cache because I need that folder to run migrations. And I needed the tar and gzip to restore the cache, right? Without those, migrations will fail. So let's try again. cd backend, that's the expectation. That's what it does. It brings it forth. npm install, npm run build, npm run migrations.txt. I want to presume that there is no migrations folder in the backend folder. Nope, so it should create it if it does not exist. Right. And the next you want to do is you want to send this to, I'm going to change to kvdb. I have, do I still have it? Let's check if I still have it. Hopefully it has not expired. Oops, sorry. I'm just trying to check my kvdb. Oh, I do. This is what I was checking. I've done this so many times. Okay, so I'm going to use my kvdb as a destination. So I'm going to add the if statement that checks if migrations were successful. This is something I'm supposed to, I think they said we should do something else. I don't remember. Let me verify that has been executed successfully. So I can just add the word success. Just hacking my way around it. You can say it's the full thing has been successfully. I want to secure here. Then I want to also add rollback. So rollback must not be forgotten, which is this one. So I'm going to save this time. I'm going to actually run it because enough of my complacency. Yeah, so I'm going to run this git add. Okay, git commit deploy infra and run migrations. Push. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm going to pause. Oh, let's look at, let's check if you've started first. Oops, somebody has failed checkout. So I'm going to check out my checkout. Oops, sorry folks. Yeah, that's on me. I know, right? I should be smarter than that, right? I should have a dash. So add. It's still gonna fail. It is still gonna fail, folks. That's not very smart. That's what it should be. Yeah, I think this is much better. Okay, so I'm gonna check again. I know that's on me, but this time it's running. Okay, so let us see. Oops, yeah. Please, just so you know, you need to make sure that the deploy depends on the build and build infrastructure. I failed to share that. This is because I have done the build already. Thank you. I missed out on something. Do you remember? I did not add configure and run migrations to my workflow, which is both here. So I have to wait for that to happen before I push. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my CloudFormation and I'm going to, yeah, right. Did it fail? Okay, it's creating it. I guess I have to wait for it to pass. Then I'll have to destroy it. Yeah. Woo. Okay, I'm going to pause. Taking too long. Okay, so this is me just trying to rebuild after adding the workflow, right? Let's wait for it to run and I'll come back. Okay, so I had a failed build, and that's because I had a typo in my container. That should be Python with what's this thing now? With a colon. Oh yeah, I think that's a colon. So I guess that means I'm going to have to rebuild. I hate this part where I always have to rebuild stuff. And why I have to rebuild is because Circle workflow ID changes. What I used to do then, I just had code workflow ID and move on. Anyway, so okay, just to since we already have the build, there's no need to start building. I can as well just keep that. Of course, deploy must happen, so I'm going to do git add again, git commit, and git push. So we're only running deploy infrastructure and configure and run migration. So I'm going to, while I'm at it, I'm going to destroy CD5AF23. So I'm going to destroy this. I'm going to destroy this. And I'm going to wait for this to run. I'm going to try again. Well, that's what happens, right? You fail, you try again. So I'm going to just quickly show you that this guy failed because I had AWS CLI instead of AWS-CLI. And because we didn't have AWS, destroy environments failed. It's quite interesting. We're trying to set up AWS so that destroy environments will work. But because we could not set up AWS, destroy environments failed. Yeah. So I've made the change. I have committed, and I'm going to try to rerun to see how it goes. Let's hope this time it works. Yeah, happens. Okay, so I of course I have to check a few things and come back. But while this is running, I have a feeling that this is probably still making good progress. While configure infrastructure is running, I want to add the deploy front end. Right? Hopefully this goes through and does not fail and migrations work. But because time is not on my side, I'm going to just, so I want to believe that configure will work. Hopefully run migrations will also work, but I want to jump straight to deploy front end. Of course, we want to use the same Python, this one. There's a 3.16, maybe 3.11. Some people use 3.11, right? Some people I use Python 10, 3.10 rather. But let's start with deploying the front end here. Then of course, you know the drill. Checkouts. What you want to do is that before you install, okay, let's install dependencies, right? Let's do that. So apk add, guys, I don't have time to, let's just do copy and paste. This is me because I'm still good. Oh, do I need Ansible in this place? No, so I can skip adding Ansible. Do I need curl here? No, I don't. Okay, I might need curl. Do I? No. So I'm going to skip curl. I always need AWS CLI. Okay, so next I'm going to get backend URL. I'll just show you what that does. And I want to put it in the front end, which is technically this. I'll explain this real quick. This does this exports the backend IP. This command gets the backend IP as long as it looks right. Then you can export that backend IP to API URL. This is just us echoing it, then getting that information into a particular file called frontend/env. Right? Yeah. Then of course you want to cut that so that you see what's going on. And I can delete all of this. I've done that already. And the next thing you want to do, let's not forget, I like to before you deploy the front end objects, you want to call back your save cache, restore workspace. That's what restore cache. So you want to restore your front end build. Please, you have to do this before should be here before you deploy front end objects, because if you don't, there will be nothing to install, right? So I recommend that you do that. Cd front end, and then you can go ahead with npm install npm build to deploy the front end objects. So npm install api1 build. Then what this will do, this will zip our, because after you build it, it's expected that the distribution folder should be what you use. You're going to zip that distribution folder into this name, this strange looking name, and then you want to upload that recursively to, please don't use sync, recursively to the front end bucket. Okay, once you're done, if there is anything that fails, you want to restore environment, or rather you want to destroy environment, that's the word. And okay, let's check how this guy is going. Okay, so run migrations has worked. You can always check the what's the word? Oops, looks like this didn't work. We have to check this out. Why? Right? It doesn't seem to find the, but let's see what happens to run migrations. I do not trust this migration. Get it? Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to, yeah, I know this problem. So at least we've restored cache, right? Yeah. So what I want to do is I want to update, because this is mostly based on because of the old version. So I'm going to need to do this audit fix somewhere inside. Looks like it works, but I'm going to do the audit fix just before I run migration. So I'm going to do it here, and I'm going to use this one. I'm going to just do that one for critical. Remember it? Yeah. So where are you? Fix. So I'm going to try to fix that before I build and run migrations. So that's the extra thing I'm doing. I'll try to do the same here. Right, we've restored the build, we've done this, I want to now go and fix my revert migrations. So that's me going to vet migrations, and what this is supposed to do is that you should just check if that path exists. So if success, so you can do anything you want here, but make sure that it happens. What's critical is that it happens on fail, right? And you want to curl please, I'd like to take this out. In fact, for me, I just want to believe that there's a failure. Let me just go ahead and um, and cd projects backend npm install npm run build npm run migrations revert if there was a migration. Let me go back and check this again. I expect that okay, oh sorry, this should not be happening here. That should be happening only at the back end. I apologize, because my migrations are happening at the back end. My fix is trying to happen at the back end. Okay, so I have tried to work around my migrations. Migrations seem to work, but we are not sure yet. Deploy front end. I also want to deploy the back end. So remember that we used our back end URL and put it in the front end env. Yeah, before I forget, we need to now go and add the revert migrations command. Right? Yes. So I'm going to add that here. It has similar, let me verify that it has the same. Oh, I left out the parameters. Oops. See, folks, that was close. Like I said, not even that. For this one, I doubt it is necessary because I didn't use it in the you get it in the code. But then let's still have it. Oh, see, I would have gotten that wrong. I was close. Okay, undo. I think I have this duplicated. Okay, so I'm going now here to check that I have migrations added before reverting migrations. Deploy front end looks like it works. Shoo, 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 shoo. Okay, next I want to do is I want to deploy the backend. Right. Since you have gotten used to using this image, I'm going to use it for my deploy backend. My deploy backend should have an image, and then we want to start adding checkout fingerprint, and so I want to do that real quick. Yep. Check out fingerprints and attach workspace. Now we want to install dependencies. Since we are putting Ansible, we want to have Ansible included. So I'm going to install that dependency. I'm taking it out. I want star gzip. Yep. Oh yeah, and I think I prefer to do this before I attach workspace. I know it's not necessary, but it's just a personal preference of mine. Because for me to persist the workspace, I need tar and gzip. So I have to install dependencies first. So install dependencies, Node.js, npm 3, npm AWS CLI Ansible, because we're going to use Ansible. Now I want to start doing things like backend build and all of that. I know you have seen this already, so I'm going to try to just do it. This is yeah. Now the next thing, so this step here is me going into the backend folder, installing. Now before I forget, I'm not even sure I need this guy. Oh yeah, I do. After doing this, I also need to bring back restore cache. Yep, because I need his backend build, because I need the backend folder, right? And it's in the cache. So I pull it back, I install, I run build, I go back to where I was, then I start zipping the backend, which is what you see there. Okay, then what I want to do next is to create a directory that is going to hold my artifact in Ansible, because I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to explain why that, because remember that we need to, when we are doing the deploy, we need to have a folder here called files inside the deploy. Then we'll put our artifact inside the file so that it's accessible by Ansible. That's my approach. Of course, you can use your approach, right? So I do that, I move the file to that folder, right? Then what do I want to do next? I want to go to the Ansible folder because that's where I want to run my Ansible. Did I restore? Okay, so I attached the workspace, so I should have access to inventory. Right? If you want to be sure, I can do, since I'm in the Ansible folder, my inventory file should be visible. Then I like to show, okay, that's it. I like to now run Ansible. Of course, this can just simply be cat inventory.txt. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. This should. I'm going to just quickly add my environment voice. My destroy and revert. Okay, so this is me going through the deploy backend process. Oh, sorry. Okay, all right. So here we go. I'm going to hit git push. Let's see how that goes. Let's see how it's going. I can just go ahead and delete this. I can just go ahead and delete this. And we want to wait for this to run. All right, so we are back. I had to make a few changes. I'm going to quickly explain. So I realized that I had the wrong name here. That should be migrations. Haha, probably noticed that. That should be migration. So I fixed that. Then the other thing I did was I used a different image. Instead of the Alpine image, I used Node because I needed to have the npm run. So I just felt I should use Node. It allows me to have lesser trouble with dependencies, right? So of course, using Node means I need to install AWS CLI and gzip and tar, and because I need to use curl, I have to install curl, right? So with that, I want to save and run this git add, git commit. I want to push. Remember that we have already set up our deploy front end, which is using, I can as well just do the same thing here if I want to, or use, well, I'm not doing any migrations anyway, so I want to believe that this would work. Let's check the same for deploy backend. So let's just wait for this to run, and I'll pause and I'll come back. Okay, so here we have this migrations successful again, which is good, right? What else? Let's check our back end. Let's see back end. Okay, so back end has built, and that's our file, which is good. That's the name of the back end. I want to also believe that front end has also built. Okay, yes, so here front end looks like it built successfully because it's uploading to that bucket. Okay, so what we want to do is go to the next stage, which is, where are we? Okay, yeah, we are going to smoke test, right? So have we done this? I doubt that. Deploy backend, let's verify. I'm not sure I have done, okay, I'm not sure I have done this deploy backend. Have I? Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. I have done deploy front end. I have done migrations. Okay, I have done deploy backend, but I'm not sure. Did I do the, oh, I didn't do the deploy tasks. Wow, that's why it looks like deploy backend works, but it didn't. So I need to create a file called in tasks main.yml. I think I left this out. And in my main.yml, I need to add the deploy task. I'll just pick it, do a copy and paste probably. It's almost the same thing. We are installing npm. We are installing Node, but this time what we are doing is we are adding the artifact. So let me go over this now. Install dependencies is Node and the npm. We are installing pm2, right? We are taking that file, which was where, here, let me show you this one, this file, and what we're using it to do is we're extracting it to the current directory. In our case, it's just our root where we are. Then we are starting the application. I can even add this. Let me just do delete. So they are doing this with sudo, right? And yeah, so before I forget, we need to fix this. So I'm going to come to my configure server and take the configure server playbook. Remember this one? I need to take this because I need it in my deploy backend environment. So let me verify my indentation if I have S. Is that accurate? Doesn't look very accurate. It should be same level with the vars. So I knew I was wrong. So I have brought in my environment into the deploy backend. So what's happening here is that we use this particular playbook to deploy the deploy backend tasks. That's what you see. and then when we are done, we go to deploy this one. Of course, we can add some more. I think there's some more environment. There are some. Okay, we can as well leave it. It's not okay. I think we should. I just add it. Node env production environment production. Let me just do the same thing for the configure server, which is this one. So so now we have our deploy backend and configure backend set up. Okay, so I'm going to try to push again. Oops, something is missing. I did not save this. What have I missed? Everything is there. So just to go over it again so that we are aware, the config file for after running migrations, right? We now go and run deploy backend, which does this installation, then front end, which takes the backend IP, puts it in a front end env, and sends that to, oh, I need to add, okay, it's fine. Yeah, then sends that file to, okay, something is missing. I need to put this before, now that I'm seeing it, let me just fix that. You probably understand why, because I wanted the front end file to be available before I write it, before I make changes to it, right? Yeah, because if I do this before this, the front end.env can be overwritten. Get that? Okay, so that's front end fixed. Back end, we are doing this, installing, copying the artifact to a position that I want this needs to work with it, then deploy. Right, yeah. I'm going to, let me just do this again, add commit. Okay, so I'm going to try to push. While that push is happening, I'm going to try to delete my older stack, I'm sure, because it succeeded. This ones will not delete, so I need to delete this. I need to also delete this. Okay, I want to believe that I have files here. That's fine. Let's go back and do empty. Okay, now I can try to delete the stack and it should work. Okay, so the expectation is that another stack is being created from my latest update. Yeah, we'll wait for that to happen and then we will continue. Okay, as usual, because I cannot wait, as always, while this is running, I'm going to start working on my smoke test phase. What do I want to do in my smoke test? I want to get the backend IP and check if it is online, right? Yes. So what do you want to use us up for? We can as well use the, let's see, I'm going to just wait for this to, this can keep running. I'm going to uncheck this, right, up until this one. As always, I want to add my image. Let's use, you can use this one. Like I said, different people use different things. The only one I know I can tell you that may give you a headache if you're trying to work with would be this one for run migrations, right? Let me just add this here. Safest to use to avoid migration errors. Where was I? Yes, so I was working on smoke test. I check out my code, right? As always, I would install my dependencies, which would be I'll just take what do we need? We need AWS CLI typically. We need probably we need curl. We need tar and gzip if we are going to be using the workspace, for example. So if we want to get the backend URL, what do we need to do? Do we even need tar and gzip? Let's find out. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to only leave curl and AWS CLI. If we need others, we will call for them. Right? Yeah. So let's get our backend URL. It's a very long code. As always, I will do a long copy. So backend smoke test is long. So this command will get us the backend URL. Once we are done with this, we want to do the smoke test itself. Okay, let me just check the guide so that we, okay, so fetch the backend IP, then export the IP. Okay, so let's export the IP and all of those. I'm going to do a copy and paste here directly under. So I think that's the backend smoke test, right? So let me verify. Okay, yeah, I can also get the backend URL from inventory, right? So I can as well do attach workspace, right, at this, and then instead of doing this, right, I have the option of getting the backend IP from the workspace, right? I think we should use that method. Should we? I think we can use that method, right? Yeah. Okay, let's use that method. Okay. Let's leave that for now. I'll figure that out. So I'm going to do if this is a fraud. So the expectation is that if this works, so I'm going to just put everything together and call it back and smoke test, right? So I can take this one out, I might not need it. Then I want to also get my front end smoke test, very similar. But what this does is that this checks if the website is up. Remember that this is my US West 2, which is my what's the word for that thing, guys? What's the word for that thing? And this is still running over is normal. Let me just pick one and we'll see it. AWS default region. I think that is the name. AWS default region, right? So I can as well just make that this here and call it AWS default region, right? So we check this if this exists, we check if this shows welcome. I can take this out, then return 0 or return 1, that depends on you. So we can now add this to it, which is our destroy environments, remember, or revert migrations. So going over it again, if you use your workspace, what you want to do is, let me just show you how that works. Remember that instead of using this whole thing, you want to do export backend IP is equal to, so you want to now put a command in between these two things. Now what it does, it just get the tail of projects, if I'm correct, backend Ansible, is that not projects.CircleCI? That should be Ansible inventory.txt, because that is our that's our inventory file sitting in Ansible. So this is one way to get the backend IP. Another way is to also use AWS to get it. But for this AWS to work, you need to have AWS CLI, right? That depends on you. You want to get it from inventory, or you want to get it directly from. But remember that if you do this, you will have to attach the workspace, right? So I'm going to leave you to choose how you want to get it done. So this is our smoke test. We're going to now let's go add the smoke test. Let me check if this has finished. As always, I ain't got time. Did we fail? Oh, okay, we succeeded, right? Our work has done well. So I want to check well, we are going up to 2 hours. We'll soon be done. So I want to add smoke test to our workflow. So I want to do git add git commit smoke test, and I want to do git push. Okay, while that is running, I want to go kill the stacks that I have created. Remember, with these 2 stacks we created, we need to kill them. Of course, that's because I like to keep my work clean. So I'm going to empty this bucket. Of course, you can do all of this in code if you want. This is our boy. I want to empty. I want to exit, then I can try to delete this stack, and I should be good. Okay, so we are creating the stack for the new. You can check for the new. And one thing I want you to also know is that by this time, right, it's worthy of note that by the time you get to this point, your migrations would have been successful. So if you still have dbeaver or any of your connection to database tools, if you come here, you should see that my database, the Postgres, if I use Postgres view DB, I should have these tables. This is proof that I have done my migration successfully. If you don't have these, you may have trouble with your smoke test, right? I felt you should know that as well. Okay, so I'm going to pause while this is running, and let's hope that this executes successfully. Okay, so while we wait for the other one to finish, it is still running. If you want to check, you can always confirm. Of course, it had a lot of failed jobs at some point. So check if this is still running. What I want to do next is jump to the next one, which is our CloudFront update. Right, we are rounding up, we're almost done. So I want to do this CloudFront update. Okay, so what do we do about CloudFront update? I want to get something that supports AWS CLI, which is just the very popular Amazon image, right? You want to check out your code. So let's check out our code. Want to install dependencies. Let's do that. Yum install tar. Do we need tar? We need AWS. Oh, we already have it. Okay, what else do we need? Just for the sake of, oh yeah, if you're going to be vetting migrations, we'll need npm, we'll need node.js, right? And I'll just add y to it. Yeah. If at any point you're going to need that, we'll need to use we need to have, because these two are just in case there's a failure and you want to revert migrations. Because I'll tell you why. Because for this rollback to happen successfully, the dependencies must be met, which is for distro environment you need AWS, for revert migrations you need Node. Okay, next thing, you want to update your CloudFront. I'm going to show you the various because this was given to us from the class, so you want to, this one here takes out all the exports. Now this exports and looks for one that has workflow ID. If you check, I can show that to you on the console. So if I go to export, you see what I mean. So it's looking for this particular line. So it checks for one that has workflow ID, which is this one, where the export name is workflow ID, and goes to get the value. That is what this does. It gets the workflow ID for that, right? Which is going to return either people, whatever that is, right? And the next thing you want to do is to update that guy that meets that criteria of workflow ID. So in our case, I want to take that initial stack and change I want to override the workflow ID with our new value of workflow ID. Remember, our new value of workflow ID is what? Is this last line here, this one. So that's circle workflow ID. Yeah. So what's happening here is that we are updating CloudFront with this particular value. So we are taking that last workflow ID and going to update. So what happens here now, let me just break it down even some more, is that it takes this your workflow ID and goes to the CloudFront file and overrides this workflow ID parameter. So what happens now is that your CDN begins to point to the new bucket that has changed, right? That's it. Begins to point to new bucket. So that is your CloudFront update. Okay, I'm going to, if this is not done, I'll just go to the next one. Let's hope that it is. Are we? Oh, okay, we're almost there. Okay, so our bad guy smoke test is the real deal. While we are waiting for smoke test, however, I'll just go to the next. Oh, okay, we're there. I can always do the next one without. Okay, so this is the cleanup one. You can choose anything for your cleanup for your Docker image. As always, I like to use, not always though, Amazon CLI, because I'm doing a lot of Amazon manipulation. So it's Amazon CLI. What I want to do is I want to get the old workflow ID. And I want to pass that value. So let's start with okay, so I want to export the old workflow ID, which is extracted from the parameters. So it says get old workflow ID. I'm going to take this one out. I'm going to replace this, right? And I'm going to use the stacks. So this is the list of stacks. Just look at the AWS documentation to understand this particular command. It's not very long. You're just getting list of stacks, and you are checking for the ones that are complete, right? So you're getting all stacks with the create complete, with the create. So that will exclude initial stack, because remember in the previous stuff, initial stack was updated, right? So it would have changed from initial create complete to update complete. So it will just pick only those two, only front end and back end. And what we are doing now is that we are saying if this is this, right, then we want to, oh boy, we want to start cleaning up, right? So this is where we start cleaning up stuff. If this is inside of this, okay, so let's do the cleanup. That means we need to start removing, where are you? This one. So this means we are removing that bucket, right? Then we are deleting the stack. So that's the final straw that breaks the camel's back. We delete the front end and we delete the back end. And that is really all. That is really, remember, please don't forget that this particular line will delete everything you created. So you don't want to run this line until, or let me put it this way, when you finish running your code and you have you are done with the pipeline, right, you want to comment out this line, then run it again, because if you don't, your S3 buckets will be unavailable, the one you just created, your back end will be unavailable, and then your front end will be unavailable. So I want to advise that you check. That's why it's good to understand what these things are doing, so that you know exactly what you're doing. Okay, so I'm going to uncheck these two. Hopefully they both work, and I'm going to check my smoke tests. Okay, as always, my smoke test has failed. All right, so let's go find out why smoke test failed. The bad thing about what just happened is that because my smoke test failed, my environment has been destroyed. You know how this is now, right? Yeah. So we will go and disable the destroy environment and troubleshoot our smoke tests. Did I miss anything? Well, we're about to find out. So I'm going to go to my smoke tests, and I'm going to, I know we have updated CloudFront and clean up, but I'm going to disable this one. If, oh, not this one. Okay, that's correct. What failed? Was it smoke tests back end? Yes, I think so. Okay, back end smoke test is what failed. Let's see again. API status. Okay, that's correct. All right, let's go find out. Oh, I see. I missed out on something. That should be anyway. It should have still worked. Let me just change this to -s, which is silent, right? And grep OK. Remember, we're supposed to check if there is an OK in the API status. Whew. All right, so I'm going to check my stacks to be sure that they are all dead, because if they are not dead, there's no point. All right, so I'm going to I have disabled destroy environment in case it fails. I'm going to do git add. I'm going to do git commit smoke test fixing smoke test. I'm going to do git push, and I'm going to pause so that this runs. You know the drill, right? Let's be sure that it has started running. Oops, not you. Okay, cleanup has a problem. Okay, let's go check that out. I know that doesn't concern the smoke test, but let's just fix it. Cleanup has a problem. It's asking for workflow ID. I think I know why. Because I did not create a workflow ID. Okay, let me fix that right away. Let me check that error again. It says pipeline parameters workflow ID. Let's see. Unknown variables workflow ID. That should be correct, right? So what have I missed? Interesting, ain't it? That's most likely. Do I have a parameters here? No, I don't. That explains it. So I need to add parameters. And is that correct? This is me trying to save my workflow ID in code. 1 second. So this is CircleCI, Circle workflow ID. I'm sure I remember when that happened earlier. Okay, so now that I have this parameter, because it's a pipeline parameter, right? Not a job parameter. So I need to define it in the pipeline. Okay, so I'm going to try again. Oops, sorry. That should be small a. And this should be git push to wait for what happens next. All right, this time I think it has flown past. Let us remember, like I said, cleanup is here. Okay, yeah, so I didn't clean it up. Normally the expectation is that you want to, when you run, if you do this, it will delete what you created. All right, yeah. So I think I've explained that already. So let's wait for this to run. I think we are technically done. The next thing that we just need to look out for is to troubleshoot every problem. So I'm going to pause, and anywhere this fails, we continue. All right, so I eventually ran this and I had a problem. Ha 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 ha. Of course, as always, would be problem once in a while, right? So I have this problem of this port not working, so I need to go find out why. A couple of things to check. If your smoke test fails, there are three things I like to check. Number one, I already checked this, so I want to first log into my instance. Can I log in? Okay, yes, I can log in. I want to do sudo pm2 logs. I'm not sure. Okay, I think I killed my process in a bid to let me go check a few things first. I want to check that my configure server has this one. I want to check that my deploy backend has this one, right? Then the one more thing I always need to check is that I added configure server in my backend.yaml file. Looks like I didn't. So somewhere along the line, I skipped adding this in my, yeah, this has to be my fault. So before I run migrations, I am supposed to have added the env file here. So this is my fault. I know. Skipped it. Somebody needs to beat me for doing this. So I'm adding, am I in the backend folder? Okay, yes, this is fine. I can as well just do cd into it. That also still works. So I'm here trying to fix my smoke tests by fixing my configure infrastructure. I'm adding all these environment variables into the backend.env. I can cut my backend to be sure that it works, so that when I do this, there'll be a backend folder to work with. And of course, when I'm done with this, of course, this is another mistake that most of us make. I want to attach persist to workspace, and I want to persist the root, and I want to add this path. I can just do projects backend and .env if that's what I want, or I can just go ahead and just do project backend. So with this particular line, I have persisted the path into the I've persisted this backend.env into the path because it's part of backend, right? So that when I'm running migrations, which is the mistake we make, so that means I need to come here, and even after restoring cache, I also want to restore the workspace. So I've restored my cache. I also want to restore workspace. Is that called attach workspace? I always forget. That's part of run migration, right? Attach workspace, and that should be at this. So this would make my env file available for migrations. Also, when I want to do my deployment, I also want to make sure that when I'm doing my back end, I want to put, okay, I have done that. So the issue I had, yes, I think I want to do the cache first. Sure, I want to do the cache first so that the extra stuff will overwrite that. Okay, that's a lot of changes, right? But that should fix a lot of problems, especially this one. Especially this one is the biggest headache we have. Of course, you can do this if you want. This will also work. Yeah. So I attach my workspace. I push all this into the workspace, and then I can persist my backend to the workspace, and then I can go ahead and continue the rest of the deal. So now that that's happening, how did I know that I needed to do that? I did sudo, no, sorry, I did ls, and I did ls, and I realized that I did not have .env in this place. That is a disaster. Okay, so now that I'm done with this, I'm going to exit. I'm going to git add, git commit, fix smoke tests, git push. And while that is happening, I'm going to try to go delete all the voice. Yes, welcome to troubleshooting. Is how we do it. Okay. Funny enough, right? This worked. But it still failed in the smoke tests. Now let us check and fix it. Okay, so this is done. I want to delete this stack. I want to be sure that they are both deleting. Yeah, so okay, so we are almost done with just troubleshooting stuff. I'm hoping now that once that is done, we should just go ahead and finish the cleanup, right? Then we can go and uncomment all those bad boys, all those early boys, and we should be good. Until then, have a great time. We'll be back. Okay, so I'm going to add a few more, or let me just say, tweak my code just so that I have to take a break, just so that I can fix. I prefer to add these in one line, so mostly I think because I'm having this already, I don't want to. I want to keep this in a single line and saying, right? Actually, mostly because if I do this, I might need to start doing this at strategic points. So I'm going to just, oops, I'm going to just take this out. Yep. So I've done that. I want to do, is that correct? Yes. Git add, git commit, fixing smoke tests. Let's hope this works. Git push, and the goal, I hope this thing should be okay. Good. So that means I expect that yeah, and a lot of failed smoke tests, that's fine. Okay, so the expectation, oh yeah, not for you. This, so this should work. I once passed my smoke test and I failed my class. Oh, I need to check on that. Anyway, let's see how this goes, and I will pause and we will check again. Okay, all right, so looks like we have a little problem with our CloudFront updates. I'm going to check that. I did a bit of work around with the smoke test. I'll probably explain that later. I had to be sure it was working before I did that though. But let's see why we have a problem with our CloudFront. So it's saying no package npm available. Where would that be? Where would that be? Where would that be? Let's check. I really don't know yet. It's Amazon AWS CLI. That's correct, right? And I'm doing yum install. Looks correct, right? So something is actually wrong. Let me verify. Okay, looks okay. So what could be wrong? I do not know yet. I do not know yet. Ooh. Okay, so I've gone to just do a few checks and I may have missed out tar and gzip. Alright, so I want to try to bring that back so that I can enable install npm and node.js. I think there are a couple of ways I can decide to either do this, either use this or go and use the node source repo, right? But do I need node? That's another thing. Do I even need node here? Maybe not, but I can just leave it as tar and gzip. Oh yes, I need node because if migrations want to be reverted, I need node. Okay, no problem. So I hope that this would not be necessary. Okay, there's no revert happening here. So I will, let's see if this works. Git push, git add, git commits, updates, CloudFront distro, and git push. I may have done something crazy. Oops. And you know what it is? And let me go and cancel that real quick. I need to cancel that. I hope that's fast enough because I left out my checkout here. Let's hope that does not burn something down. Git add, git commits, and git push. I just need to go and check and be sure that nothing has been created in error. Okay, I canceled fast enough. That's good. So a lot of failures in the past, but no problem. Oh yeah, so I did it fast enough. Okay, so we wait. Remember, anything we have now is initial stack. We will have to, and remember that I was here and there was a time I needed to use this create complete, which is, if you look very closely, somewhere here. But we are making good progress. And I need to, yeah, so we just wait for this to finish, and hopefully the next thing I'll need to do will be to rerun my pipeline with all this enabled. And then there's the last part where you test for a different branch. Let me see if I have that. Git branch arrow will show me the removed branches. What's the one? When I go to branch, show me the local branches. I only have one. So I might just create a branch and and let me delete all these other branches. I don't like to have them. Git branch, delete nodes August 2020, and that should be origin. Oops, that was not found. That should actually be correct. Oh, that should, I need to add R. Okay, let me check again. Okay, so I can do the same thing for updates. I can do the same thing for, so if I do git branch remote, I should only have one branch. All right, I'm just doing this so that I can wait for the next thing. I'm hoping that we are done, really. I'm really hoping we are done. So I'm going to pause this while I wait for, it will probably take a few minutes to run, I'm sure. Defaults, oh sorry, not you, master defaults. Yeah, so once everything runs, the plan is that it should not clean up, it should not delete it. So when we are done, we'll go and test that the server is working, right, and the CloudFront has updated, and we will come back to this one. So let me get my CloudFront ready. That the expectation is that CloudFront should be pointing to my old stack. Okay, should be pointing to where are you? Resource outputs. Yeah, should be pointing to this. All right, let's check. Yeah, look at it here. And this looks wrong, right? We'll have to fix that because I expect it to point to just this part. Does that make sense? Yeah, so that means something is wrong with my original script's initial stack, which is this one. This looks fine, except I have to think about this. Okay, I think I know what I need to do. So what I should have passed when I was creating the stack originally should have been let me type that here. This should have been update create with let's go look for that guy. So I should have created it with where are you? Okay, yeah, so I should have created it with without the workflow ID. So where are you now? With this, something like this. This would have taken my workflow ID into CloudFront. yes, no, not diff, into this CloudFront, and then pass the workflow ID into this. Okay, so anyway, we'll have that's something that will have to be fixed much later. And that means workflow ID would have been I'm just trying to think out loud. No problem, it's not too late. Alright, so I'm just waiting for this to run. Let me check back here. How are we doing? Run migrations has worked. So I'll pause this. Once it's done, we'll check if CloudFront now points to the right place. This would not matter much because we will never even use these origins. That means we need to be very wary of what we are passing to the CloudFront updates. Let me check that real quick, or else it will not work. Okay, so we are passing just the ID, and that means it's just update it. Okay, it should work. All right, so I'm pausing this video. Until later. Okay, so I'll quickly show you what happened. I still ran into that problem, and because of that I could not revert migrations. So what I did, I preferred to just use Node as my base image and install AWS CLI, right? So that made I believe that should make my life a lot easier, so that not only do I have AWS CLI access, I also can revert if I run into any trouble. With this one, I'm not sure I need to install anything apart from AWS CLI, so I don't have to start using Node or anything like that. And let's hope that works this time. Yeah, I know, I've run into a lot of trouble with troubleshooting, right? But let's see how that goes. And I think I'm looking at this guy and I don't like it. After smoke tests, okay, I do cloud. Okay, looks good. I can always check master. This is still running. I can check default and just to be sure. Okay, that's good. Follows the steps. So I will pause for now and come back. Okay, so I'm back, and just in time to see the CloudFront update start. I expect that this should change. It also shows me here that an update is in progress in my stack, and I want to believe that once this is done, this should also change, right? And this should also change. Yeah, so you look at it, it has just changed, right? And this should also be done in a few seconds. So I think all we can even do is that we want to I'm interested in this, the contents of, oh yeah, so that's the, sorry, that's wrong. This is what I want, the domain name. So this is what should point to my, yep, at least this works, right? That means that this works. I want to, well, we can wait if we want, but this looks like it's deploying, so let's just wait for it. It is almost done. Okay, it's almost done too. You can always check. And I was waiting for this to finish. So the next thing we want to try, of course, remember that we are trying is the CloudFront URL. change that to HTTP. Oh, it's still forwarding to, well, no problem, that's also fine. But at least this tells me that it's forwarding to the right address, which is, if you look at it, 3AFA. That's good. So you want to try it? Yeah, let's go ahead and try it. KCE Kilichi Emenike. Sorry. I'm going to just leave everything else. Just put a random number. KCE@mail.com. Prince CH. Oh, I like to do something else too. I like to enable this guy. It's just so that I can know if anything goes wrong. And if I click, well, so I'm waiting for this to finish. Oh, this has finished. That's good. Even okay, this is fine. Cleanup has failed. We can probably know why. Oh yeah. I what's the word? I commented out everything. So at least this means everything is working. This has updated. It's enabled now. CloudFormation is done. Stack is updated. I think I have enough to add an employee now. Let me be sure that this may not work immediately. Let's see if it works now. It doesn't. So I'm going to see if it will work with incognito. Okay, still forwarding. You can understand why, because I need to go and invalidate. That takes some time here. So I need to create an invalidation and just put star and I'm trying to remember how we do this stuff. Okay. I think this is what it should be. So yeah, so this is an invalidation that was created. Of course, we can always test with the. Oh, I was there already. Yes. So I wanted to do these tests. Does it add employee? Did it fail? Okay, something is wrong, right? If this happens, then I need to go and check why, right? So what I need to do is, let's see, a couple of issues may have happened. First, I want to check my infrastructure, which is this one, right? I want to log in. I think there's something I have missed, but let's find out. I want to log into, let's go through the troubleshooting process. First, I have to first check that HTTP this is working. Okay, this is fine. That's our smoke test, right? And the next thing I want to do is do SSHI. This is where my okay, should still be online. Okay, so I'm going to try to do a sudo pm2 logs. I want to know where errors are coming from. Looks good. I'm going to try, let me see where this something going on here. Everything looks fine. There is a possibility. We're about to find out. I've created my validation, right? Yeah, so I'm going to try that CloudFront again. This is what I want. Okay, should not be. It should not. Probably takes a while. Yeah, I guess takes a while. I don't want to wait. So what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Add employee seems to fail. And okay, so let's go back to our. Let me check the origins again. Is this correct? Right? Yes. That's the name of my. Yes, that is correct. All right, so 3AFA515, 3AFA515. Great. Okay, so I was going to check a few things. I was going to check um, um, LSAL. I have my .m file, so that's good. The other thing I also want to check is, let me check that the migrations are running. Oh yes, I'm going to check that from my where you dbeaver, this one. Just try and refresh and be sure that everything looks good. Okay, and I want to do sudo pm2 status. It looks like it's online. Okay, what else do I need to check out for? Yeah, I'm interested in checking if the front end actually sends information to the back end. So how do I do that? I want to go to my bucket and I want to check. Oh, okay, maybe I'll just wait for CloudFront invalidation to finish. I think I want to do that first. So where are you? Let me check again. Okay. KC, KCE, KCE@mail.com. Just try this again. Nigeria, Lagos, LA, 12. Okay, so I have to do some troubleshooting on this one because I have okay. What I'm gonna do is just because I'm sending to, oh, I always forget this too. Because I'm sending to a because I'm sending to a non HTTPS backend. I apologize. Even I make this mistake. So let's try again. Okay, let's try this now. And we have worked. Oops. Okay, that's my bad. I was trying to do, you know, this happens when you try to send an HTTPS to an HTTP backend. Of course, there's a solution. You can go and install HTTPS in the backend, and that should sort it out. But we have been able to add new employee. Of course, the next thing I want to even be sure of is that this also works on CloudFront, right? I have to wait for this invalidation to work. Why that is happening is strangely beyond me. I want to believe that that's because of my network. Yeah, so I'll just wait a while and try it again, right? So let's pause. Anyway, while we are waiting for that, I think I want to just complete my project by enabling this guy, by enabling this guy. this is the branch part. Let me exit from this. Clear. So I want to git branch. I have one branch, so I want to create a different branch. Let's call it git checkout b dev branch. So I want to make sure that everything builds only on the dev branch. Right. So what this means is that everything here would run. If you are on the dev branch, it will continue. If you are not on the dev branch, it would stop here. Okay, so I'm going to now. I don't know whether to wait for this invalidation to be valid so that I can test this, because if I kill my if I start another workflow, I'll need to kill all of those things. I think I'll just do that. Okay, so I think this is all for now. This should summarize. My time is up. We are going up to 3 hours. So this should, I'm sure, this is enough to explain how you can get CircleCI working with AWS, and you can do a blue-green deployment. I want to, okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to cancel. I'm going to shut everything down. So yeah, I'll do that. So I'm going to enable the cleanup and clean this up. And of course, that means I need to come here and clean this up. Okay, I already have it open, so I want to delete. I'm trying to start again. This time I want to come to my, remember that one that we had an error? This one. So this one will delete everything. Right, let me just do okay. I'm doing this on dev branch, no problem. I can also do it on the master, but I want to do this on dev branch. Okay, so I want to, I think I'm done. Okay, this is good. I can try to delete this one. Oops, sorry. You know, that means these things won't work anymore. So it's stuck. So now, oops, sorry. I want to go back to where were we? This guy, and git status. So I want to do git add, git commit clean up activated. Let me do dev branch. Dev branch set tests git push. Git push will not work, so I have to git push set, same as just doing u origin dev branch. Okay, so on this should write to dev branch and try to execute. Would it? Let's find out. So I'm coming to this one. I'm coming to, so this time all branches should, oh, we have a problem. Build front end is problematic. I think I know why. Build front end, let's check again. 392 column 7. Strange, right? Build front end, build back end, test front end. Strange, folks. Let's see again. Let's see what's showing here though. That's an interesting stuff. Did I miss out on anybody that should have? Nope. Maybe it does not exist. Okay, it does. It does. Build front end. Yeah. Strange stuff. So there's a build. Okay. It's saying it found a question mark. Is there a question mark here? No. All right. 1 second. Let me just verify that I have everything set up. Well, looks good. Okay. Nothing missing. Nothing broken. Strange, right? Ah, I gotcha. 403. There's our problem. So I need to go look for it. I apologize, guys. This is completely on me. This is what I should have. And because of that, it looked like build front end was failing. Sorry. All right, so now we go again. So I expect that it should work now. Still failing. I did not push. Okay, is there someone else? Let's see, I have all the required setup. Or maybe the, oh, I see, my filter should be at the same level as my required. Oh boy. Yeah. I know. Welcome to the live coding. Okay, so now it should work. Yeah, so now we're working. So let's see. The expectation is that everything works until it gets to, oh, okay. Okay, for dev branch, everything should work. Yeah, all the way across. But for, so I'm going to just cancel that build because I ain't got time anymore. But for if I switch back to master, so I'm going to do git checkout master. So all of this should change. So what I'm going to do is git checkout dev branch dot. The only thing that happened here is that I just updated, so I just need to commit this. So this should be dev branch only. So what should happen here, because of what I just done, is that I have made sure that what I'm doing will only work. I cancel this, right? Will only if I now come to see, this is master, and if I click on this, it should show me that, look at it, I'm only doing this and this, which is what we have here. Only these batch, build and test, because we have limited this to just the dev branch, right? Is there another thing I've missed out? I want to doubt. Okay. Oh yeah, last thing is Prometheus. I'll stop this video for now, so that probably use the Prometheus for another video. That's the login part. Until then, have a great day, and I think it should be bye bye for now. Yes, it should be bye bye for now.